Hi, I am Volnyckyi, narrating for Spartan Mozi. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 Heart of Chernobyl will present a lot of new characters and factions, and we think now is a great time to talk about them. We are first going to talk about the new factions and their characters, and then about characters which alliance is unknown or from an older faction. There are timestamps in the description if you need them. Starting off with a group called Noon and its leader S.T.A.L.K.E.R.
You asked me about my good luck charm. Remember?
While there isn't a lot of information known about this faction, we do have knowledge of certain elements. Noon is composed out of ex-Monolithian fighters. They took part in Operation Zenith back in the year 2013. And don't worry, we will get back to Operation Zenith later in the video. The faction is led by the iconic S.T.A.L.K.E.R character, Strider. If you didn't know, it was actually possible to meet Strider in S.T.A.L.K.E.R Call of Pripyat and even persuade him into joining your mission in the Pripyat underpass. Strider will surely play an important role in the story of Heart of Chernobyl, as we got a whole trailer based on him. In this trailer, we also learned that Strider took part in Operation Monolith. In the flashback cutscene, Strider tells how he was awakened and freed from brainwashing.
I felt as if I was awakening from a years-long coma.
The leader also appears in the final scene of the Come To Me trailer. This is a very interesting scene, and there is a lot to talk about. Let's start with the elephant in the room. There is a clear rivalry between Strider and the blind man on the left called Faust. The popular theory within the community that the S.T.A.L.K.E.Rs you see here are monolith. We disagree, let us explain. Our theory goes as follows. Besides Faust, what you see here are all members of Noon. I know it is easy to disregard this theory, as the clothing of people are very representative of Monolithians used to wear in the original games. But consider this. It seems like Faust is a Monolithian, possibly even a new leader of Monolith, as a stone around his neck and his dialogue suggests. We can also observe he is blind. Now get this. In this beautiful artwork of Monolithian, the fighter is blind too. What we suggest is that S.T.A.L.K.E.Rs fully converted to Monolith are blind. The ones you see in this scene aren't. So we think that everyone in this scene are part of Strider's group, Noon, and that Faust is simply trying to convince the others to join his side or rejoin the Monolith. Or alternatively, Faust may also be part of Noon, but we full believe in Monolith. We also see this is a great possibility, as in the PC Gamer magazine from December 2021, Evgeny Grigorovich did mention that there will be several rivalries inside factions. Also, their clothing doesn't matter at all, as we've seen Strider in a suit heavily resembling the Monolith too, though he isn't part of it. Unfortunately, we haven't seen what type of equipment they use, how their patch looks, where their base is located, but we will be soon learning all of this in September.
Decided to play soldier with me?
The World is a new faction that was teased back in the gameplay trailer from E3 2021. The text from the Ukrainian roughly translates "Fuck the world, bandits rule." The group is led by Colonel Alexander Korshunov, a very accomplished and experienced soldier. He doesn't tolerate disloyalty, and it's best not to cross him. The world acts as a quote-unquote policeman of the zone. Put it like this: if the zone is the Wild West and bandits are outlaws and bank robbers, the wardens are the lawmen. While at a first glance the factions appears very similar to Duty, due to their appearance as another paramilitary faction, but unlike the dummies from Duty, wardens believe that the zone must be controlled and studied for a better future for mankind. The main goal of the ward is to protect the Scientific Institute of Research of the Chernobyl Anomalous Area, or SIRCAA for short. Interestingly enough, we think we may have found where the ward base is located. With the recent update to the physical editions of the game, we got an actual look at the map. Unfortunately, due to the poor quality, we couldn't observe much, but the Telegram channel called S.T.A.L.K.E.R News UA got a very high resolution of the map, so all credits go to them for finding this in a better quality. While we found a lot of interesting stuff, we aren't going to talk about all the details, but you can check Spartan's modded Twitter page called S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 News for more information. For now, let's focus on this right here. Worse than military. What could be worse than military for stalkers besides the word? It wouldn't be monolith, as the area is located too near to the starting area of the game. This will remain unconfirmed for now, but we think there is a good chance what we suggested is true. We've seen a lot of members of the world so far actually, like these 3 guys at the beginning in the Come To Me trailer. Later in the same trailer we also have this scene where we can see this guy, who is called Zotov. He will have a significant importance to the faction. He is looking for someone, a culprit.
Don't want the innocent to suffer? Then help me find the culprit.
Makes sense, as his literal role is to be the lawman. Also in this scene, but harder to see, there is this guy welded an HK-416, assuming he is protecting Zotov, in case the situation escalates, and it seems like it did, as this guy is pointing his gun at him. We also see what seems to be a scientist here, which we presume is a scientist from SIRCAA. We actually think he may be S.T.A.L.K.E.R from Call of Pripyat. I mean, Herman is back, why not him, right? The Ward used a special type of suit, which is very unique and easily identified. It certainly looks very advanced. The weapons they use vary quite a lot actually. The guy behind an HK-416. You'd think they use NATO weapons, but in this other scene they seen using AKS-74S. You can also see a chaser shotgun. And here Colonel Korshunov is handing out Skiff and AKS-74 too. Fun fact, Ward actually means guard. Fitting name. Don't you think so? We are not sure if we can call the Scientific Institute of Research of the Chernobyl anomalous area a true faction, at least it doesn't look like a traditional one. Perhaps it functions more like the ecologists. Regardless, we will be talking about the new snippets of information we got about it. David Dallin is the head of SIRCAA, the most advanced institute in human history. They believe the wonders they may bring from the zone far outweigh the potential risks. Dr. Dallin seems incredibly convinced that the discoveries of the institute will allow to venture forward to a new and better humanity. Earlier, we also talked about this guy, who we think is S.T.A.L.K.E.R, the professor that tasked Major Dekhtярov to find the oasis. If you aren't convinced yet, his clothing is identical to those of scientists here. That of course does not confirm anything, but we think it's a good enough theory. Going back to Operation Zenith, David Dallin and all taking action under his will were blamed for a failure of the operation. Oh, and don't ask us what Dallin is rambling about, we really have no clue.
I'll take a chance and get control of the anomalous energy.
The International Perimeter Security Force is a new faction, or perhaps it's better to call it a rework of an already existing one. It appears that the military has been retconned completely. In Strate's flashback, the word we were used to call military aren't military anymore. You can see a new patch, the one of the IPSF. Here is a closer look at the patch if you want to. Pretty fitting, I guess. Unfortunately, that is about it. We don't think we will get clear explanations until release. That's about it for the new factions. It's time to talk about the characters whose alliance is unknown, or from an older faction. The Stranger. A mysterious figure. It seems he will have a massive role in the story. Many may think he was first teased in the E3 2021 gameplay trailer, but that isn't true. The official soundtrack for S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 called 2's, which by the way you are hearing right now in the background, had Morse code in it. The translation of this Morse code, I don't know if anyone can hear me, but it doesn't matter. I'm used to being alone. The zone gave meaning to everything. I need to wait. This is clearly the Stranger's words. Cool Easter egg put in my GSC. From the discussion Skiff and him are having in the trailer, the Stranger surely tasked the player with killing someone. Who it is, no clue. Many have speculated who this man is, but we think it's none other than the legendary Strelok.
To the north.
There is quite a bit of evidence. He has the exact same scar on his right cheek you could see on his face in Shadow of Chernobyl. Overall, his facial features are quite similar too. Also, if he would be a new character, why would GSC blur his name? We wouldn't know anything about him, so it wouldn't make sense to do it. We are certain he is an old face. Lastly, S.T.A.L.K.E.R does appear in Heart of Chernobyl IMDb page. Still, nothing remains confirmed. We will see at release. Gather. He is the leader of the loners at the settlement you see in this scene, so we suggest he may be some kind of Valerian 2.0. Interestingly enough, his name in the Ukrainian localization is Batya. Batya is usually used to refer to someone you respect. Bolshak, a new face, a friendly one too. His hideout is located in a new place called Chornobyl 2. He will have some kind of importance to the story, as he will guide Skiff to entrance of the quote-unquote basement. By basement, I presume they mean a huge underground or some kind of X-lab. He is also a man of culture, very nice. Doctor, another legendary face of the series is back. It seems he may be teaching Skiff, who is clearly a newcomer to the zone, about the secrets of the zone and the noosphere. I found this scene pretty weird, where a dog is praying. And you can also see on the right the feet of a dead monolithian, or maybe a stalker from None. Herman. An old face that also dates back to Call of Pripyat. He was S.T.A.L.K.E.'s colleague, but it seems that they might have parted ways. At least that is, if our theory about S.T.A.L.K.E. joining SIRCAA is right. Skiff and him have some kind of strong connection. After all, he is the one that drove Skiff to the zone via truck. Mitya, another familiar face returning from. Can you guess it? Yeah, Call of Pripyat. The way he talks and the fact that he has been in the zone for over a decade may suggest he may actually be a bit of a leader for the loners, kinda like how Wolf or Fnatic were. Barkeep, the iconic trader from the 100 Rats bar, is returning. He was seen in this artwork. It also seems like the bar got a massive upgrade. You can see some nice decoration with the hearts of some new mutants from S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, the Bayun and the Deer, also known as a Hornhead. Richter. He is a fellow stalker handing out Skiff the bolt in this cutscene that plays at the beginning of S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2's demo. We suppose he is the first stalker Skiff actually meets in the game. The new Not a Paradise trailer suggests that the protagonist and him actually may become good friends, and it seems that Richter serves as a mentor to Skiff. That's all information we've collected about the new factions and characters so far. If you think we missed something, please do tell us in the comments section below. See you all in the zone once again in September. Good hunting, stalkers.
Як будеш у Прип'яті, перше коло на колесі за мною.
Гаразд.
Я дурак. Thank you for your attention.